Hello, Dean Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. I'm going to start out with a little bit of investment advice, then a short rant. I think the first rant that I've ever done, unless you consider all of my videos to be rants. And finally, what I hope is some encouraging news about the Chinese virus. I'm not saying coronavirus, I might slip into it, but Trump was on TV today and he used the term Chinese virus. I think he did it for two reasons. Number one, to troll the Chinese because they have been trying to pin the blame for the Chinese virus on the United States, saying that our soldiers brought the Chinese virus to Wuhan. Nobody believes that, of course, but I think Trump just got irritated by that, so now he is deliberately calling it the Chinese virus. But I think he's also trying to troll our friends on the left, the ones way on the left who are claiming that it's racist to call it the coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever the official name is, to call it the Chinese virus or the Wuhan virus. As somebody pointed out, they must have a problem with German measles too. So, or swine flu, I guess that's an insult to pigs. I'll have to ask my neighbor's pig. My neighbor has a real actual pig, a 300-pound pig, which I have on occasions fed for her when she has been out of town. So I know this pig fairly well. Her name is Porcupine. And Porcupine has never, to my knowledge, been offended by the term swine flu. I don't know of any Germans offended by the term German measles. If the Chinese, well, they obviously are offended, but I don't think it's a matter of racism or xenophobia. I think it's a matter of they don't like to have it pointed out that this virus originated in China and that it's spread all over the world because they originally suppressed the news of the virus. You'll recall that the doctor who now died from the Chinese virus, he was alerting the Chinese people, the Chinese government, a long time ago. The Chinese made him shut up, and I think even sign a statement that there was really no problem. That's number one. And the second problem caused by the Chinese is that we, way back in January, asked the Chinese to let us bring some medical experts into Wuhan to investigate the problem and try to mitigate it at the source before it spread. The Chinese refused, and they had actually been suppressing information since then, right up to the point where it spread worldwide and became so obvious and so, well, I won't say intractable, because I think and I'm confident that we're going to thwart the Chinese virus after a while, but they let it get so bad that they could no longer deny the Chinese virus. I'm going to talk about that as my last item for today, but what I want to start out with, this is going to be my investment advice. It's for young people. I did a vlog earlier where I gave advice from an old guy, meaning me, but I have some additional advice. It's mainly to point out the advantage that you young people have today that I did not have buying stocks. I first bought some stocks long ago when I was in my 20s, and the problem I had was the commissions. The commissions, I mean, never mind the zero commissions that we have now that I'm going to get to, but the discount commissions, we didn't have those either. So it did not make sense to buy fewer than 100 shares of stock, because if you're paying a $20 commission, I don't remember exactly what it was then, but you have to earn back that commission first before you have any gain. The stock has to go up enough to pay the commission. So if you buy one share, you could buy odd lots, and I think the commission might have even been higher for odd lots. But if you buy, say, 10 shares of something and you pay $20 commission, your stock price has to go up quite a bit just to earn back the commission. Discount commissions helped a lot, but now we have Fidelity and we have Charles Schwab, and there could be others who are charging zero commissions now. The reason they do that is because you put your money with them and then they can invest the money, or they can earn interest on it, put it into treasury bills, or however they do it. The point being, though, that they earn money from your money, and they earn enough that they can offer zero commissions. My point being that if you are a young person and you have just a little bit of money to invest in stock, you could buy as little as one share, and if it goes up a penny, you've made money. You've earned back more than the commission, which is zero. So my encouragement is that if you're young, I wish I paid more attention to this when I was younger, because you would be surprised, I can tell you now that I'm older, how that money compounds, how that investment compounds, and you will be surprised how much money you will have when you reach my age if you put just a little bit of money a month away now. That's what I started doing, but I didn't even start till I would say my late 20s or well into my 30s, and I still came out ahead. I started I had a 401k plan. I would just put 15% of my salary into a 401k plan and buy stocks, or I would invest at some other, either individually into stocks or my 401k plan. And I put the money aside, and I had to scrimp a little bit because of not having the income. But boy, I can tell you that I am happy that I did the sacrificing then, especially now, and especially a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago, when the recession hit, when I got into real estate, which is why I had been a broker many, many years ago. I let my license lapse. I became a temp word processor, freelance word processor, so that I could do writing and music and other stuff I wanted to do at the time. But then the word processing dried up, and then I went back into real estate. But that was, well, number one, just getting a real estate business going, having to survive because there was not that much business in those days because of the recession. I pretty much, or to a great extent, lived off my savings for a good 3 or 4 years. And it's a good thing that I had those savings because I put money away when I was younger. That is my investment advice for today. Now, on to my rant. I was talking to one of my real estate customers back in New York. I live in Tennessee. I still have a customer back in New York, and I work with some other real estate companies. Well, one real estate company. I was talking to my customer, and because of these shortages that are occurring of food in markets, that he owns a bunch of markets, smaller markets, and he owns a cafe, delis, things like that. But for the markets, I said, are you having any trouble getting merchandise, getting food? And he said, no problem at all. There's plenty of food. This is the problem, though. He's dealing with it. But I went to 3 supermarkets yesterday just trying to buy a dozen eggs. That's all I wanted, was a dozen eggs, and all of the stores were sold out. They had no eggs. And I called one store today, Kroger, my local Kroger, said, are you going to have eggs today? They say, no, maybe some organic eggs. We hope to have them tomorrow. Point being, I should also mention that I saw a lot of shelves that were bare. I wanted some tomatoes. There were no tomatoes. I wanted, well, the meat counter was almost empty. The deli counter had stuff, cold cuts and things, but the meat counter where they had steaks and roasts and stuff, and then the seafood counter. Those were empty. And that is my rant. There is no food shortage. We are talking about a medical problem with this Chinese virus. There is no food shortage. You do not have to go to the market and buy 10 dozen eggs, buy all the hamburger. You don't have to go out there and buy everything in sight so that the rest of us don't have anything. We can't buy anything. I just wanted a stupid 1 dozen eggs. I couldn't get it. That's the rant. Now on to the final item. This is some encouraging news, I hope, about the Chinese virus. This, I'm going to read it. It's a tweet from somebody who calls himself Porcupine. And if you don't know who Porcupine is, because you're a younger person, there used to be a comic strip called Pogo. Pogo was a possum, a cartoon possum, and he had all his animal friends. And by the way, there is a real possum that comes into my backyard at night and drinks the milk that I put out for the neighbor's cats. I put it out in the morning. The cats drink it during the day. When I come in the next morning, all the milk is gone. I happened to go to my backyard one evening, and there was a possum. There was a possum drinking all the milk. So Porcupine was a character in the Pogo comic strip. So this tweeter, Porcupine, is either an older person or somehow found this old comic strip. But here is what he found. I'm just going to read you the tweet as I display it on the screen. Basically, he did some math. Here's the tweet verbatim. And because he's continuing from an earlier tweet, and some back of the envelope numbers on where we may be in the progression of the thing here in the US as compared to South Korea, the thing being Chinese virus. I've been tracking daily total number of known cases for South Korea and more recently for the US, literally on the back of an envelope. Then I thought to calculate the percent increase in cases over the previous day and found the data jumped around day to day, hard to spot trends. So I tried again, calculating average increase per day over 3-day stretches, and things smoothed out and trends emerged. No, not a true 3-day rolling average, envelope's too small, just per day average increase for 3-day time blocks. And now Porcupine's chart. Follow along with me. This is the good news in this chart. What I got for the US, 111 known cases on March 4th. March 4th to March 7th, increase 47% a day, 1.8 day doubling time. March 7th to March 10th, up 39% a day, 2.1 day doubling time. March 10th to March 13th, up 32% a day, 2.5 day doubling time. March 13th to March 16th, up 29% a day, 2.7 day doubling time. 4,661 known cases on March 16th. So the U.S. rate of increase is slowing. Not yet to anything like a comfortable level, but slowing. This chart shows that the doubling time, because you may have seen some of these models, some of these predictions of how bad the coronavirus could be if it doubles, say, every 3 days, and we don't do anything about it, how bad it could get within a month or even sooner. But we are doing something about it, and you can see here that the rate, well, first of all, the average daily increase is going down, but also the length of time that it takes to double is getting longer with each period in these calculations. and I heard good news today. I watched the daily briefing. It looks like there's going to be these daily briefings. I encourage everybody to watch them because they have the president there sometimes, but always the vice president, and Dr. Fauci, and Dr. Birx, and admiral from the military who is doing logistical work. All these experts, they are there at one time in one place taking questions. And Secretary Mnuchin was there today giving an update on providing financial help and liquidity to the public and to business. So I encourage everybody to watch those briefings. You just have to turn on the TV and look for an announcement of the briefing because they're announced in advance, but they're at different times. The one yesterday was around 3:45 in the afternoon. The one today was about 10:45 in the morning. It's like Churchill said, it's not the beginning of the end, but it looks like it's the end of the beginning. We're going to get a handle on this, everybody. So stay calm and just buy what you need as you usually do at the supermarket, because I need a dozen eggs, okay? I just want a dozen eggs, and if you other people would not clean out the whole store before I can get there, I would appreciate it. I would also appreciate thumbs up if you like this video. Share it with anybody you think would also like the video. Got any comments? You can put them in the comment section below the video. Any questions you might have, you can also go there. Suggestions for future topics. You could subscribe. I would love everybody to subscribe. And finally, come back and see me again. I look forward to seeing everybody again. And until I do see everybody again, bye.